Hello and welcome to another monthly review. Today we are doing the July review. As you are aware, I was MIA for almost 2 months, but I'm back. And instead of doing a weekly check-in for the whole month of July, I'm doing a monthly review. So kind of lumping all of the weeks into one big review. So what I've done here, unlike before when I do my weekly check-ins and you see me go into Mint and adding things into the spreadsheet, I've already added everything into the spreadsheet, and we are going to be first reviewing my expenses, then we'll review my income and kind of see how I fared, like what I ended up with at the end of the month. So to get started, what we're doing here is that we're doing a line by line review. So week 1 is July 7th, week 2 is July 14th, week 3 is July 21, week 4 is a little bit more than a week because I have the 21st to the 31st. The first part of my expenses, these are more of my main categories on mint.com. Food and dining tend to be so widely variable, and I wanted to be able to separate them and really track how much I spend on grocery versus eating out. And for shopping, so much of my expense almost every week is Amazon, so I separate those out. So it's not necessarily that it's fixed versus variable. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First line of business is auto and transport. I budgeted $200. I spent about $129. So a little caveat, July was my first month in my new apartment. You are going to see way more expenses, but that's expected. Anyone who's ever moved into a new apartment expect a little bit more front cost. Bills and utilities, I budgeted $3,500, only ended up spending $1,333. Here is why. So there was a gap between when I moved out of my apartment and when I moved into my apartment. So you see that gap kind of reflected here. And technically, I should have put this under rent. So under home here, that's my first month's rent. Business services, budgeted $250, only spent $1,424. I am loving where this is staying. Education, budgeted $0, spent $0. Entertainment. So this was the month of the Barbenheimer. I went to go see Mission Impossible. I spent $17 in Las Vegas, and I know that it's about the same in LA. I wanted to go see Barbie and Oppenheimer. So those two, just to go see those two movies, would have cost me way more than $24.95. So I signed up for AMC week 4 because it makes a lot more sense for me to sign up for that. I went to see Barbie and I went to see a couple of other movies, all for the price of $24.95. So to me, even if I'm just going to see 4 movies a month, that $24 is worth it, considering the fact that one movie is $17.99. Fees and charges, I budgeted $600. I only spent $169. Cue the confetti. Woo! I will take this, you guys. I have worked so hard. Under fees and charges, this is what reflects my credit card expenses. So because I had so much in credit cards, my fees and expenses were just outrageous every month. I mean, to be giving away $600 every month just on fees is ridiculous. So now I can actually put that fees and expenses towards other things like health and fitness. So I'm really excited about that. Next one is financial. This is snowball payment. I slowed down paying off my credit cards just because I knew this month was going to be heavy on a lot of upfront costs. Health and fitness, I budgeted $100. So to be honest, in July I did not even budget. Shame on me. But we'll be fixing that as we move forward. $100 spent, $249. This is the money that I am paying for a nutrition program. So I did a 8 weeks nutrition program for about $600, and this was the cost. They charged me for 2 payments. So this, I made a mistake. This really should have been on the bills and utilities, but anyhow. So home, I totally blew this budget out of the water, which is it's a good thing that I did not pay credit cards, because I just completely blew this budget out of the water. Instead of $100, I ended up spending $2,536.46. Yes. And personal care, I spent $65 and my budget was $100. So I am below budget by $35. Right on budget. Travel, $100. Let's close out these overall categories. I budgeted $7,425. It's saying here that I spent $4,986.85. I was below budget by $2,438.15. So now let's look at groceries and dining out. As you can see here, the first few months I was in New Jersey for work, barely spent a penny. But don't worry, I made up for it when I got back. I budgeted $400, ended up spending a whopping $1,303.41. Now, I do have to say this. This is more than just food and dining. This really should be groceries slash Walmart, because what's reflected on here was I bought a TV, I bought a bed. So the TV was about $350 something, the bed $200. So all of these expenses are reflected on here, okay? By bed, so my living room, instead of having a sofa, I bought a trundle. Dining out, $38. So these $1,300 technically reflect more than just, it should be food, dining, and supplies. Because when I say groceries on here, usually it's not just to buy groceries, right? Most of the time, toilet paper is included in there, toothpaste. And you know, when you move, I moved solo in a small SUV. So I ended up throwing away a lot of things, which meant paying that money back. So shopping, which is technically where some of these expenses should have been categorized, but honey, that is way too much work. This would do. Under shopping, I have Amazon. The first 2 weeks, not a whole lot of expenses reflected. The second week, $343.58. The fourth week, $1,654. So I ended up buying a large queen mattress. I ended up buying 2 twin mattresses. I went to Amazon and tried to get better specs to get a better product. And yes, big difference between the two. So I was over budget here by almost $1,800. Clothing, budgeted $200, spent $73. I don't think I have ever had expenses that look as bad as my July the whole year. And this is why I love tracking my expenses, because you really get to see how you trend. I know that July is an outlier. Now I'm working on straightening all of this mess. However, let's take a look at it. I budgeted $400, ended up spending $2,133.50, which put me over budget by $1,333.50. That's a lot of money, but you know what? I wanted to have my apartment set up and ready to go. Airfare, budgeted $3,000, ended up spending. Taxi, budgeted $500, spent $76.91. Hotels, budgeted $2,000. Since, yeah, I think this is the most I've spent. Food and dining, budgeted $1,000, ended up spending $1,214. Car rental, budgeted $1,000. Conferences and seminar, budgeted $1,000, only spent $397. This one I can easily lower this because parking and tolls. So this is the first time I've added this category under work related, because I did have to park my car for 2 weeks. And that cost almost $200, because I went to an interesting indie beauty brand store here in LA and I bought a few products. Of course, I'm going to expense those out. It's always good when you are in my role to go support indie brands. Not only are you meeting founders and you're meeting different people, but at the same time, you're supporting them, but you're also buying that product to kind of try to understand what is resonating with customers on the market. So now let's look at the overview. As always, my budget is usually around $8,700. That stays pretty consistent. And I ended up spending $5,844.03. And I was under budget slightly by $708. That makes sense. So the difference is $2,855.97. So over here, my overall budgeted for this month was $17,025. I ended up spending $14,000. $344.94, which is a difference of $2,718.63. But here's the problem. I say all the time on this channel that you guys, I project an income of around $18,000. But the reason why I project this income is the money that I'm getting reimbursed here, right? So this $5,000, technically at the end of every month, I should be able to put in an expense report and get it back. In June, I had spent about $5,749. If I had put the expense report for that, my income this month would have been around $15,000 or $16,000 or so, making up for this number here. A few things to keep in mind, right? This income is a combination of my wages, my rental income, and all of that. That was a total of only $10,247. Most of the time I'm bringing in 16,000, which makes a lot more sense. The problem here, because I did not put in my expense report for June, which I ended up putting in a few weeks after that. This is the first month I have shown a negative trend in my net income. I'm going into a credit card, right? It's great because I'm collecting mileage. So what I was doing is personally out of pocket, I was paying off as much credit cards as possible, but I ended up paying a little bit more in interest, which will probably reflect in my August. So anyhow, that is the quick overview of my expenses of July. I was in the thick of my move, but the good thing is we are back on track. But moving forward, I would get back to my weekly overview. Wow, I've been MIA for 3 months. That's quite a lot, and I'm really sorry, but I am back, and I cannot wait to continue on sharing my journey with you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Please take some time to like and subscribe to my channel. I have so many great exciting things coming up in terms of not just tracking my expenses, but also education, downloading a lot of what I've been learning about money, money management, financial tracking, credit cards, debt payoff, all of that I will be downloading and sharing with all of you. Thank you so much. Have a great, great, great day, and I will see you in the next video.